Hi. Um, Hello. I just wanted to come on because while I was doing his self self massage, I guess, or self physical adjustment or physical therapy, it dawned on me my sense of humor, my wackiness, and which carried into my art. When I was with that guy who used who was taking my money for gambling, drugs, alcohol, eating in restaurants, and um, going to sex workers. I also had to go do have a persona, something between being infantile and humorous, always trying to appease him so he doesn't blow up at me. Giggling and my sense of humor. It's a little bit dark and a little bit um, innocent seeming and a little bit childish. Um, the little bit childishness came from him needing me to not be assertive, not be an adult, even if he was supported by me. Although he didn't call it support, he called it I need to help him out while he's looking for work. Um, And he lied about going to work, and so he said, they didn't pay him, but he didn't go to work. But anyway, so I was an adult. I was in my early 20s. He was in his late 20s. But I had to act infantile and funny and financially support and emotionally support while being somebody that he could be he can lord over. So, um, and he's actually very, very normy and basic, but his clothes and his music, like he wanted to be edgy. So I also developed somewhat of a dark sense of humor, even if I had to also just be goofy and also innocent. And that I won't say it's a dichotomy. It is a really, really sick and twisted way of manipulating somebody who's already broken. Um, you can hear from my uploads. I've been tortured. I have serious permanent spine and hip socket damage and some brain damage. Um, and I was homeless at 15 and on my own at 16. But I had to be quick. I had to read the room all the time. I had to see subtle changes in moods. I had to protect myself by acting like a child. And yes, my childhood was taken away by my parents, but also I had a lot of responsibility very, very young, and I had to do a lot of adult things very, very young. And also, I was independent at 16. I was homeless at 15, independent at 16. But I had to bring myself down to being an infant because I didn't know boundaries. I didn't have a sense of self. I only knew how to be exploited. And I thought I was free because um, I chose to have sex with this guy. Um, the only touch I had until I was like in junior high school, and I can like hold hands with a friend or be on my arm or a hand around my shoulder and hugging and kissing and all that in high school. Before that, the only touch I experienced was sexual and violence. Okay, getting punched, getting kicked, getting picked up and thrown. So, but I became very quick-witted, able to read the air, goofy, developed sense of humor because I had to make this person laugh, this guy laugh, and put him in a good mood. And he was always in a bad mood. or he pretended to be, so he can exploit me. I used it in art and performance. And I also have an unbelievable darkness, okay, and sadness that I've been told that I have. And I also have this kind of lightness and this unhumanness and optimism that I had to develop to survive since I was a very small child. And in that, I've been also told that I have stage presence or a presence. So I wish that I had a normal life, and I still do. Um, I wish I had a, a very normal life, okay? But that's partly how I became a successful performer, and I had this wackiness and this sense of humor and this darkness to be a choreographer. Okay, I made unique work. I'm not saying it's the best work, but I made very unique work that nobody copied. People have tried, but they haven't succeeded. Actually, they haven't succeeded enough to present anything because they tried copying and they didn't get far enough to copy. So I am just here to say, um, when things are messed with, mutation happens, and that's how I got to this. I'm not. I I want to ask everybody not to abuse people just to make interesting people. Because I've seen people um with the results not like me. And I'm not connected in any way, but if you look at Thin White Underbelly's channel, Thin White Underbelly, there are many people who were abused, who were assaulted, extreme violence against, that their bones grew up deformed like mine, who didn't end up um with success or with freedom from being dependent on a substance as I have. I had the worst examples. Um, so don't abuse people like, at all. And you've heard in my other uploads, it costs me like so much tax dollars to abuse if you abuse people and they survive. Okay? Um, and I don't think it's worth it to make unique art to be as broken as I have that um I had to cope in such a way, and that my sense of self was that damaged. Yeah, I have to get ready to go to work, so I'll leave it at that. And please comment if you had similar experiences. Please comment if you have any questions, and I will come on again soon. Bye.